my dear BJ community. I'm sorry to be so far away today. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to be uh, in my home in Tel Aviv. Something very intimate in Zoom recordings that we do at home. So welcome. I'd like to share with you a story from the Babylonian Talmud, the Tractate of Brachot, 7a, about Rabbi Ishmael, the high priest, and what happened to him when he walks into Kodesh HaKodashim, the innermost sacred place, and how he meets God. I'm reading from the Bavli in translation. Rabbi Ishmael ben Elisha said, "Once I entered into the Holy of Holies to burn incense in the innermost sanctum, and I saw Akatriel Ya Adonai Tzevaot, sitting on a high and lofty throne of compassion. He said to me, 'Ishmael, my son, bless me.' I said to him, 'Master of the universe, may it be your will that your mercy conquer your anger, that your mercy overcome your sterner attributes, that you behave toward your children with their attribute of mercy, and that for their sake you go beyond the boundary of judgment.' He nodded to me with his head. What does this come to teach us? It teaches us never to underestimate the blessing of an ordinary person. This story is quite remarkable, that the high priest, Rabbi Ishmael ben Elisha, his name is very interesting. He's called Ishmael, God will listen, but it's also the name of the Arab nation, Ishmael, the children of Ishmael. So our high priest Ishmael walks after a whole day of work in the temple. He's all alone in the whole building. Everyone is outside waiting to see if he does well, if he does everything right, and blessing will be spread all over the world. He's alone. He has to slaughter cows and sheep and goats. He has to throw blood. He has to remember exactly the steps and the way and the things in Seder Avodah that he's supposed to do. He changes his garments from white to gold and back. And he's all alone. He didn't sleep at night. He didn't eat or drink. He has to be completely concentrated because what he does, he's doing for the whole world and for all of Israel. And then when he finally walks into Kodesh HaKodashim, the innermost sanctum, with the smoke of the incense walking before him, and he knows that the place is empty. It's a dark and the emptiness of a chamber full of holiness. The last thing he expects is to meet someone and to have a conversation. But surprisingly, the Talmud says, he meets, and not just a person, he meets God himself or herself, sitting on a throne of mercy. We don't know what that looks like. And not only that he is in the presence of God and as a human being doesn't know what to do, there's no protocol for meeting God. It never happens to anyone, let alone to a priest in Yom Kippur. So he's waiting there, doesn't even know if he's allowed to raise his eyes and look at God, because lo yir'eni adam v'chai, if someone sees God, they will not live. And God opens and says to him by his first name, and he says to him, Ishmael, my son, bless me. And this request from God on Yom Kippur is so shocking, because we don't ever think of God as someone that needs blessing. And we don't have words to bless God. We usually, in all our blessings, we thank Him for the apple, for the water, for life, for our breath. But how can we bless Him? What do you say to God? That He's everything. Rabbi Ishmael finds words or has the good uh, inspiration, maybe from God, to find the right words, and he's blessing God to be soft, to be mellow, to be merciful towards us, to overcome his sterner attributes, to not be angry and not be hard, and be the God that he wants to be to us. And it's a big gamble to say such brave words to God, but God waves his head like this and says, "Thank you, Ishmael." And it seems like he enjoyed the words. And the Talmud says, what can we learn from such a story? We must learn that the words of a simple person like us, the blessings that we can bless others, that we can bless our family, our friends, our loved ones, our people, our country, and even God. These words are not to be taken for granted. They are important words. They were even important for God. And so, somehow, in these hard days, I would like us all to remember that we have the ability to bless, that God is waiting for our blessing, and that sometimes maybe creation is becoming not what the Creator meant, and He needs our good words to try to heal, to try to bring back blessing. So I'm blessing us all in Shana Tova, in health and comfort and togetherness. Shana Tova.